What is up, guys? Welcome back to All G, sometimes All G's React. And this time, we're going to be doing a bit of a reaction. But I'm your boy, Josh.
Sir Cash.
And this time, we have men's rights versus feminism. Okay? They're bringing people together to discuss this topic. We're going to give our thoughts on it. All right? But we're going to watch it first and see what they talking about.
Is it manism versus feminism?
Would it be manism?
Manisms?
Manisms?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Because why is it not female rights? Anyways.
Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for tuning in for Middle Ground, which is all about disagreeing and having a dialogue.
That's right. Make sure you stick around to the end because we want to discuss more about the ethos of Middle Ground. But for now, we hope you enjoy.
You said that women are misguided. We are not misguided. We do not need you to shepherd us.
I know why he got chose
Hello.
this.
I would.
Yes, an intersectional feminist.
Marxism?
To me,
That's why you got
feminism
chose.
is fairness.
I think that it's unfortunately misguided.
Feminism is a flawed movement.
When you hear the phrase men's rights, what comes to mind?
Aggression.
Advocating for the human rights of man as a class.
I start laughing.
What do you hope to get in the conversation today?
I would hope to get some insight and probably, if anything, agree on a lot more than disagree.
I actually hope to get a little bit more understanding of why some men think this way.
Do you think there's middle ground between men's rights activists and feminism?
We'll see.
This isn't the traditional way feminists looks. Generally, they don't look like attractive.
I'm Zach, and
I think there's different
24 years old.
areas of feminism and the way
This
they
is Chris.
do
I'm
their
a
thing.
PhD student at the University of Southern California, and I'm also a Title IX specialist who challenges discrimination against men on college campuses. And I'm 20 years old.
Hi, I'm Derek. I also go by Brendio. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm also known as an incel, which is an involuntarily celibate.
Hi, my name is Alicia. I am a
Knew he was
writer,
gonna be the
poet, and
incel.
teaching artist.
I currently work in the pet health industry, and I'm 30.
I'm 24. I'm a graduate student with a degree in health sciences, and I'm excited to be here today.
I get my men's rights activists in the left and my feminists on the right. Step forward if this statement is true for you. I believe men and women are different but equal.
She just went because they
She didn't
came
wanna
up.
be left out.
She didn't want to be left out.
Follower.
I know as a woman that I don't have the same physical strengths. Men and women are built differently. I think whenever things are built differently, it's for a reason, right? But at the same time, the amount of limits that have been put on women historically, like the fact that not too long ago we were just allowed to like start voting. Even today, like the
Yeah,
wage
that came
gap,
with the
just
draft.
all types of stuff. Like women just don't have a lot of rights that are just, it should have nothing to do with what gender we are to be able to be paid equally or just be treated with respect. So, yeah.
I do
Respect
believe
is
that, of
earned.
course, there are biological differences between men and women. And of course, there should also be legal equality. Of course, I disagree with the idea that women face systemic discrimination. You just mentioned the wage gap, which has been debunked so many times.
I've studied evolutionary biology quite a bit, and men and women are very different from not just a physical, the bone structure, the neurological department as well as the chemical balances, and also I don't believe that men and women are equal under the law either, or they should be rather. Children are not equal under the law, and it's not because we hate children, it's because we love them and we want to protect them.
So if you believe we're not equal, then that you're inferring that one would be greater than the other.
Well, so let me
So that's what
chime in
I'm
with my
trying to.
perspective.
Yeah.
As far as not being equal, I don't think that necessarily means inferior or superior. When it comes to certain things like roles like childbearing, a woman is going to be far more productive and a lot more nurturing than, say, a man. And when it comes to doing a lot more of the heavy lifting and the work, a man is probably going to be more suited for that role. And I don't think that that makes them any better or worse. We are just built, created, and born different.
I would also like to elaborate. I am not saying that they are worse overall or better overall.
They complement
Like
each
he
other.
said, yeah, they do.
complement each other
You know,
beautifully.
They work very well together.
We
when
need
they
each
are
other for
working in that
for
proper-
offspring. I mean, that's part of the beauty of it. And I think trying to equalize them and make them the same, and transition and all that, I don't
some
believe
bitter-looking
is going to be
faces.
most conducive when it comes to
Instant angry.
raising children, but also just for overall well-being.
I want to note that you brought up children being unequal to adults. I just hope you weren't comparing women to children.
You're gonna hear what you want
I
to
mean,
hear.
it was technically a comparison. Of
Okay,
children,
I don't need you to
suppose.
protect me. I just need you not to harm me. I can protect myself. I'm very capable of doing what I need to do. Okay?
Okay.
I don't need you to protect me.
100%.
Okay.
I am a
Get on that front line.
an incel or an incel advocate, I suppose. I don't hate women at all. I think we're different, and they have aspects that are superior to men as well.
Why did he
It's
wear
just
that?
very contextual on the
It's part of the incel
subject.
drip. You know what I'm saying?
You could be an incel and not look like
No, it's,
straight out the like
that's part
early 2000s.
That's how I knew what he was the moment I looked at
I
him.
think
Is that
that toxic
Spider-Man?
masculinity is definitely a real thing. It's kind of just the idea of what masculinity should be, but it goes wrong a lot of the times, saying that violence, sex, power, being a controlling person makes you a man.
What does toxic masculinity mean? Is it character traits? Is it upbringing?
The suppression of feeling for a lot of men, because throughout childhood they're told man up. So because of that, there's a lot of repression. Repression then is usually channeled into anger for some people because they not always know how to express because they were told not to express.
So upbringing and
That's part of
environment.
it.
Of course.
But not something that's
Absolutely.
inherently
Okay.
part
No.
of
I
men.
don't say it. Maybe they won't let us.
Okay, hey. These men that apparently toxic, what is like 80% of boys raised by? Are they raised in dual households or are they raised in single family households?
That is a good point. I kind of feel like there's flaws. First off, this whole conversation is flawed. But there's flaws in every single aspect of what we do as humans.
True.
The man up thing, this is the biggest flaw with the man up thing. I have no problem telling my boys, man, stop acting like that. You need to man up. But it's also my job to teach them what it means to man up.
True.
You have a lot of boys who are told to man up, but they don't have that other half of it.
Yeah, yeah. You give me the problem, but there's no answer.
Bingo.
So I'm going to have to come up with an answer or let
Yeah,
society
you see
come
what
up
I'm
with the
saying?
answer.
Or
So,
society is either going to teach you, or the parents are either going to teach you. It's like that's how it works. So that's what I mean by like there's flaws in it. Like she's saying that like, well, that's because of this and the way he acted and blah 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 blah. It sounds like to me when he got upset about being rejected, it kind of sounds like he was raised by a woman.
True. And honestly, both sides of a story. Obviously, the dude ain't there. She already has a perception of men. So he could have been like, man, why you always acting like that? Why are you asking for my number? Because ain't no telling what her reaction would be. Because this is a setting where she has a camera on her and I'm well and I'm presented and I am civilized. And then, she might have been wearing like a nice little sundress, something like that. Dude, like, hey, such and such, how you doing today? Can I get your number? Now, why would you ever like, damn, why you gotta act like that? That could be the whole thing right there. But she takes it to a 10, then the dude could have been like, deuces, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that certain stories, like it's always two sides to the story, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I just think the conversation is so flawed. It's such a flawed conversation. And everyone's gonna have this perception while there's another side to it. Or we're not going to be able to see the other side. So trying to play the role of, okay, we're the women, we're speaking for the women on the women's side, and we're the guys, and we're speaking from the guys side. These dudes may not even have the right type of experience, you know what I'm saying, throughout life. You know what I'm saying?
The book readers.
So it's definitely going to be... I like what they're doing, but at the same time, we always got to remember stuff like this still flawed itself. You know what I'm saying? Based off the people they pick. But I super knew dude was an incel.
I think that, you know, when you're showing your emotions, especially to, like, you know, random people, random women in some cases, they will view you as weak. I was raised by a single mother. I love her. She's my mom. I love her. But I could have used being told to act like a man. I think back, there were some cases where I was too emotional, and that negatively affected how I, you know, what happened to me. And,
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What is your definition of weak as a man?
Not being as forward as you could be, not being as honest, or, you know, trying to be not as emotional as you don't need to be. You know, you don't have to cry over a cut.
I don't think showing emotions is a sign of weakness. I actually think it's a sign of strength. Men do live shorter lives, and that's because of a repression of emotions, and that's due to many things that patriarchy has instilled. It has been shown that a person's well-being, their lifespan is shortened when they are not able to express their emotions. In addition, when they don't have physical touch, or when they don't have a partner to keep them company. We are human beings here. We need to talk to each other.
If that's the case,
and if you think that our health isn't affected when you're not able to express that you're sad or upset,
absolutely.
you're wrong.
Man, I guarantee you they date the same type of guy that they said they wouldn't. They wouldn't be attracted to the incel. If they was all supposed to pick somebody, they would have to date out of them three. How much do you think they would pick? Dude with the muscles.
Things like affirmative action.
Yep, they're going to go for him.
They go straight Zach.
Traditionally, men have been able to serve in, and now women can basically do all
He
of
looks
those
strong.
things, right? Because we've had
He
such
can
a
protect
strong advocacy for equal representation in the workplace. Whereas, for example, you know, you'll never find a man as a midwife nurse, and I don't think it's appropriate. That's why there are those differences.
Women in, like, the most important parts of society have an advantage. There's a lot of positions that men simply aren't getting hired at anymore because of, you know, the fact that they're a man. And it's not just in the workforce. It's also, I would say, you know, it's a lot easier for women to
that
find
had
a
my
relationship,
bells
even if
ringing
she,
too. Like,
you know,
I don't think
says
that's
so.
true.
Finding the right guy is so
As
hard.
a
It really
nurse?
isn't. But
a good
find
homeowner
sometimes
was a
for a lot
There's
of
a
guys,
lot of
finding a
more
girl at
male
all
nurses now.
is
Yeah,
hard.
sure. Let's see how much money's in it. Men gotta go to where the
I
money's
have to
at.
consider what I wear before stepping out the house, because I don't want to draw some type of attention.
Yes, you do.
I don't know how many other men have to consider, is this outfit going to be deemed safe for me? Any situations I have experienced where
I gotta know if I need to wear gray shorts or not.
felt endangered simply because I don't want to give my number out. It's part of that entitlement for men. You're not entitled a conversation with me. You're not entitled to.
So, first off,
Excuse me. Serious.
if you are social and you are a guy, you definitely have to think about what you're going to wear,
Absolutely.
because you will get roasted.
You want to go to an all-white party wearing something out of color? Or your whites don't match? Or your shoes is creased? Or you need a haircut? Or if you're musty?
You definitely have to as a dude. If you're social, you get what I'm saying? Like, you will get roasted.
That incel dude ain't worried about that Spider-Man jacket he wearing because he know ain't none of the women checking for him. And he's right. If he had a dad, like, hey, you're going on where? You're going on the channel that has how many? 8 million subscribers?
No,
Boy, if you don't
bro.
take that
Yeah.
shit off right now, you ain't going to make me look bad because you're a representation of me and your mama. But now since dad ain't there, you're a representation of your mom. Your mom got you out there looking crazy.
That exactly. I have said it myself with my own sons. I'm like, they go somewhere and like I'm unaware and they come back. I'm like, you let him leave the house like that? You know what I'm saying? That's what I say. Like,
or when parents be like, oh, he picked that out. He's wearing cowboy boots and swim trunks. And a FUBU shirt that I haven't seen in a long time. I let him dress himself. He's expressing. No, he's a representation of you.
as far as what she's saying about the clothes on a woman, thing like that, here's life. Well, we can take that and we can flip it. Hey, bro, do you think you should go to a side of town that has a lot of poor people in a $250,000 car while wearing $250,000 on your neck and on your ears, on your wrists, while having money fall out of your pocket?
Of course not. you have to pay attention to your environment of what you're doing. You know, for her to say that, it's like, ma'am, here's one thing. When you're talking to women like this, it's easy. It's always easy just to be like, you say with a smile, ma'am, let me be honest with you. You know, there's this part of the world, I think it's called the Middle East, and these women are damn near wearing sheets all the time, and their eyes are covered and stuff like that. And guess what? These women are still getting approached by men. They can see like a slimmer of a toe. Like, oh, bro, she got them toes, bro. They don't even curl. It doesn't matter what you wear. A man is going to be attracted. Actually, in today's world, a female might even be attracted to you based off of what you're or how not dressed up you are. Oh, she might be kind of butchy. She might be on a different team. It doesn't matter. Attraction is attraction. If you really feel that way to where you're so worried about man being the boogeyman, I'm calling cap. That's 100% cap. You're not scared. Now, I could be unaware. Something traumatic could have happened.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to go with.
That's perfectly fine. But now you're in a position where you have put yourself out in front of 8 million people to talk about this. So now the people that probably had no idea you existed are looking at you now and like, hey, don't I recognize you from that? Aren't you from that? Aren't you from that? People are going to be more aware of you now than you was even before you decided to do this.
I just feel like I'm all about freedoms and stuff like that, but I also live in reality, and with those choices that you make comes consequences. That's just the way it works.
Right.
That's just how it is. You want to step out with, you know, that sliver of your butt cheek showing out of your shorts, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Someone's going to see it. Someone may try to approach you.
You can't uneducate DNA. It's just not going to happen. All these people, especially a lot of women in the black community, are becoming, I would say they're going to higher education, but they're not being educated. Because somebody can tell you, oh, just because you got this degree from the school, this makes you smart. No, it doesn't. She's completely flipping the script from absolving women from
like a tax
problems.
On a box of tampons. Do you think I choose
No.
to do this monthly?
Subject here,
no,
people.
Trust me. So why should I have to pay taxes when this is a medical necessity?
We're just like dismissed. A lot of our symptoms, a lot of the things we report, especially women of color, but women across the board, are just treated a lot less equally.
Pause it real quick, one more time.
I'd say that I'm an advocate for
I have to speak on
what
that.
I believe the role that men play.
Okay.
Old girl, once again, who says, I don't hate all men. I love video games. I play sports. I hang out with my bros. Let me just tell you guy code real quick, or women who might be watching this. Let me tell you what she just told herself. She's been passed up by the dude she hangs out with.
Most likely.
There's a guy that she really wanted, and she lost that guy to another woman.
Probably.
Who she feels like, oh, he's just taking advantage of her. She might be the exact woman that he wants. Cooks, cleans, doesn't really argue, all that stuff that he wants. But she's been in that male circle, because it's not common for certain women who have that mindset to hang around a bunch of guys. Which means she was hanging around just like you could say a dude who was in a friend zone around a girl. That woman was basically friend zoned. There was one dude out of that entire group that she really wanted, and she got passed up.
She probably friend zoned him first, and then he just moved on.
That happens a lot too.
That happens a lot.
Like, you know what? Oh, he probably had a nice little glow up. You know what I'm saying? He probably was like,
that happens a lot. If y'all don't know that happens quite a bit. Like,
yep.
Hey, I'm interested. Boo, boo, blah, blah.
No, you're this, you're that.
No, you're this, you're that. You know what I'm looking for. Boo, 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 boo. And then he was like, oh, well, you know, I'm not gonna sit here on this base all the time, you know, this whole time. So let me go to another base, and then wait, where you going? Wait, hey,
that mindset that she has, even though they're trying to feminism, for the most part, men can understand where you're coming from. A real man understands. Like, look, I get it, I understand, but when you constantly preach about that, like, I'm not trying to hear all that. You're not about to tell me that I'm the problem. You know why? Because I already know this is going to be conducive of no peace in the house. You're going to always find something wrong. You're going to go outside, might wear a sundress one day, some dude might approach you, and you're going to be triggered. And guess what? You're going to come home, bitch at me, and all this other stuff. I'm going to want, like, something for you to cook. And be like, why do I have to cook? I'm not that type of woman. Like, I ain't trying to hear all that. That's that will push a man further away, a man that you probably want, which what I said before is the complete opposite of what she preaches against. Whatever she's talking about, I guarantee you the man that she ends up laying down with ain't gonna agree with none of that.
I want more law thrown into this. That's really what I'm looking for.
Well, dude tried to speak on it, and they tried to switch it. He talked about how 1% of the women on, 1% of the people on death row is women, and then another woman's like, oh, but tampons. No.
They agreed,
Yeah.
and then they just went somewhere else.
Yeah,
with
like,
it.
no, we don't want to talk about women doing something wrong.
So I want more law thrown in because a lot of the stuff these women are talking about, besides the wage gap thing, which that's something you got to deal with when you hire into any place, it's your responsibility to try to get the money you feel like you are worth, and that's for anyone, man or woman. But outside of that, a lot of the stuff they're talking about is like that stuff's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but the law is still on your side.
Yeah.
If you're
No
getting
discrimination
if you're getting
law.
harassed by a guy for what you're wearing,
Yeah.
use the law.
Didn't Activision just go through that?
In
Did they?
society,
Or
I believe that
Bethesda? There was
their
some big
views
game
should
company
be
that got accused of a whole
expressed
bunch of-
openly, that they should be given a
Sexism.
platform to
Oh,
do so,
okay.
and I believed in
That's Ubisoft.
men unapologetically and unashamedly being men as we were created.
Back for all of us.
I just kind of feel like they're both illogical.
I think a lot of times when a movement is created, the other side thinks that they're being attacked or think that it's some like attempt at erasure. That's not what feminism is about at all. What do you need a whole men's rights activism movement for? I'm sincerely confused.
Well, I mean, like, I will advocate for positive masculinity and what men should represent and healthy outlets for men. Like, I still think the Boy Scouts should be exclusively the Boy Scouts, for example, one of those things. Where I would like to think that we could get some common ground is when it comes to the clear biases that are in the court system, especially in the marriage and family court system, right? And right there is what I would advocate
my
for.
turn. Stop. Yeah. That was made by dudes. What you're dealing with, most of the ones passing down judgments is men.
That's a good point.
I'm sorry, dudes, but that was created by men because men knew a way to keep other men down, to give them more hardships. That's why it's that way. I'm sorry.
Can't argue against that, fellas. Because that's a very good point. I never thought of that, even though it should have been thought of. But yeah,
No,
we can't push against a legal system that if you say that was created by men.
Hey, women had there was. I don't even think they had rights when that stuff was getting done. I'm just saying, like, that's on dudes.
That's on the books.
Y'all keep throwing that out, just like this guy right here, and y'all keep throwing that at women, and you're mad that these women are using something to their advantage that other men created because they know they can make you work more. They know you want to stay out of jail. They know all that stuff. And they're like, think about it like this. What billionaire, millionaire, or big time person you ever seen threatened with jail over child support?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
You won't find any. We'll hear about the big numbers they have to pay in child support, but it's only the little people who's. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, boys. Y'all are mad at women about them using something to their advantage. As long as there's a system and people can use it to their advantage, they will use it to their advantage. That's one of the most human things that there is.
Damn.
And that's exactly what women are doing. They're using that to their advantage.
Damn, that's true. Can't even argue.
I'm sorry.
Can't even argue against
I am
that.
sorry when it comes to that. Y'all need to stop throwing that out there. Man made that system, and women are just using it to their advantage, just like men use certain things to their advantage. I'm sorry. Y'all got to come off that.
When it comes to men's
Sorry,
rights.
The things that
Wrong
stand
realm,
valid,
but-
like that I'm hearing from y'all that are like valid to me, come from a place of like, I am treated like unfairly by the system, versus a lot of the things women are saying. It's also America in the system as well, but a lot of it is like harm from men.
How and where?
How and where what?
Where's this harm from men coming from?
Okay, it started when I was young. I'm not going to talk too long. I was 16, got a bottle thrown at me because I told a boy no. It started when I was in a club. A boy touched me. I said no. He kept touching me. It got to the point he got violent. It gets to the point that the only reason why a man decided to stop touching me in the bookstore I talked about earlier is because he realized my husband was not too far away. He said, sorry, bro. Never said sorry to me. That's why, and that's off the top of my head. This is why I get upset, because I'm like, I'm here to talk about like how you feel, but when you just dismiss the fact that women actually have.
You're a feminist. You're married. You went through issues, but you got protected by another man.
Yes,
Did any women step in when you was in the club and the dude was touching you? Was any women like, hey, hey, hey?
What did I say a long time ago about feminism and women? Women don't support feminism, so that's why I believe it's dying, basically, because women don't really support it. Yeah, you have some situations, I'm not gonna lie, because I've seen it in clubs where like there are some dudes that are a little,
Trust
and
me.
then the
niggas be too
homegirls,
much.
the homegirls is like, come on, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all, because I know I have seen it before.
Yeah, exactly. It happens, but
I will say that that's true. I also will say that didn't help your case of feminism by saying my husband stopped that, because my husband stopped another threat of a man, because I knew that if this man wanted to do something to me, I couldn't stop. And to say like a bottle was thrown at me when I was younger, dude, you know how many people have been bullied? Bullied is truly inclusive. Everybody can get bullied.
I kind of feel like that's what it is with some of these things. Like
that's nothing special.
Everyone gets bullied. We need to. So what we need to do is like when we talk about like feminism, we need to like put like an age on it to where we be like, all right, listen, from here back, you were just bullied.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't attribute that to like, well, if they would have learned more, yada yada. Like, no,
you were just. Let me tell you something. The dude who probably bullied you was probably also getting bullied by somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then that's their argument. Their argument is to change teaching and change the culture to where they feel like that. Well, if we set this time, like ever since 2020, everybody will have to go through this program, and then from this point on, there will be no more bullying, because it's you can't out teach DNA.
It won't work. It won't. People don't realize. Like y'all don't realize. Like kids don't care.
They will say whatever they want to.
They don't care.
Mom, why that lady fat?
It don't. Here's the thing. It don't even become trauma until they get older.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They do not care. Someone can die in their school and they'll crack jokes about that person dying in their school. That's how kids are. They do not care. I'm sorry.
I'm actually glad that kids don't care, because I don't want the weight of what's on my shoulders on my youngest one.
Right.
I need them to wash that stuff off.
You need it. You need certain things to be just like boop boop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Don't absorb that.
Don't absorb that. You know what I'm saying? Don't absorb this. Don't absorb that. That's what I'm saying. Like, kids do not care, bro. They do not care. They gonna roast you. You know what I'm saying? They'll talk about your dead family members. They don't care about your depression. They don't care about. They will. As someone who's been through it vividly and has also dished it out in my younger days, I'm not absolved of it.
Yeah, neither am I.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, if I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna dish it.
Thinking back, it was just because you don't care. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You just don't care. Y'all gotta come off that young stuff.
Man, you gotta grow up. You gotta
bullies
toughen up.
is bullies. Okay?
Yeah.
That's for guys and girls. There's certain things happening to you, like from this point back, you just need to be like, you was just bullied. Okay.
What would you envision would be the ideal man with the end goal of feminism, as far as educating men or working to dismantle whatever patriarchy is? Like, what does that man look like?
It starts with childhood. We have to teach children as well as girls, because we're also taught, because of toxic masculinity, what a man should be as well.
I think that we just need to hold men accountable in order to kind of make progress, we need help from people that will listen. Because let's be real, when we express our concerns, a lot of men refuse to listen, but they would be more likely to listen to another man.
Do you also feel like you have an ethical obligation to
There's male
challenge
feminists.
other women
Niggas
or
get
other
ignored.
feminists when, for example, they deny that men face discrimination?
When it comes to things like, oh, men can't be abused, I've had this conversation with another woman, and it's the idea that just because a man may be physically stronger than us does not mean they cannot be abused. And because of that, again, fairness, women need to be held accountable as well.
That's a good one.
I want to
Makes a
understand
good point with that.
their viewpoint. As a woman,
There's
and a
definitely
woman
women
of
who
color,
think,
I
oh, that didn't hurt you.
know
You know what I'm saying?
how it feels
Yeah.
to be disenfranchised. So I want to understand why they feel the need to have a men's right movement.
I feel empathy for the other side.
I don't think there's ever a time in my life where a person says they're hurting and I don't at least try to listen or understand. My only thing is that I want the same in return. So when I'm genuinely saying I'm hurting or I've been through something, and it's not just a personal experience, because I actively do this work and surround myself with women
Real
saying
quick,
I've
pause.
been hurt by a man before. I get that you have stories, but
When you have long form conversations like this, you start exposing yourself as literally being a hypocrite. If you go back a couple minutes, she literally just said, whenever I hear men's rights activists, it starts making my blood boil. Did she not?
Mm-hmm.
So what does it mean you try to have empathy? You can't have two of those viewpoints exist in the same person. Honestly, you already told on yourself. You didn't come here to listen. You came here to express yourself and to, smash the if you believe that that's a patriarchy, then you automatically are not going to listen to another side. It's like, why would I listen to you? You are what I'm trying to quote unquote dismantle. And it's not like feminism is trying to be equal, it's trying to be superior. Well, why are these men in these positions of power? Feminism always tends to talk about men and wealthiness and, power positions, but we've all heard it before. They never talk about bricklaying, sewage, other positions that, janitorial, positions they feel like, that's not desirable, But
I'm be honest with y'all. I kind of feel like both groups are, for lack of a better word, cringe. Because I'm all about the law. If it's outside the law, use the law. Now, is there disparities and there's issues within our law system? Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. 100%. But that's because it's a man-made system, and the man-made system will always have issues. That's the way that works. But use the law. Okay? Honestly, I personally have never stepped into a place and was like, I've been discriminated against for being a man. I've never done that. I've never experienced that. And I don't think I've ever said we need men's right activists. I've never said that in my mind ever. Because if I'm discriminated against, that's what the law is for.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, if you're discriminated against, that's what the law is for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the problem with some people, and I'll let you have it. This is the problem with some people when it comes to this situation. You're expecting someone to do the work for you when it comes time for you to prove what happened to you. No, you have to do the work yourself. I'll give you an example. I was discriminated against on a job, right? You know what I start doing? Snapping pictures, taking notes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what happened to that discrimination? It disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Want to know why? Because when you start doing the work, people higher up are like, what is he doing? What did y'all do? What was said? You see what I'm saying?
Because this could have some legal consequences.
This could have some legal consequences.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. There has to be work on you. I can't sit on a job and like, oh, it's discriminated against. Someone needs to do something. No, you need to do something. and it will change, or you'll get a check.
Yeah. Hey, some people play that grift cards where they go and something happened and jobs like, man, just get this person out here, cut them a check, yada yada yada.
But I'm just saying, you have to do the work, ladies. If you're being discriminated against, I've heard about woman that she did construction and how she was doing like construction, road work, road construction, whatever, and how she was constantly harassed. I'm talking about like touched, everything like that. And then she said she finally got fed up, started writing names, instances, started recording things like that, and then took it to court and she won.
Yeah. Hey, more power to her. I'm sorry that she had to go through that, but that's exactly what
You have to do that.
You have to do that. And the thing is, like, it almost boils down to game. Like, there's so many levels of what you call game in life or whatever. Like, hey, somebody had to teach you the game. Hey, ladies, if this is happening, hey, you better get up on some game. Have an OG teach you. Hey, this is what you do. Okay?
Ladies, men have already done their part, which was include you into the law. That's been done. The women, the real feminist women groups of back in the day who were out there marching, who was out there trying to educate, who was out there doing all that hard work for y'all that you no longer have to do, they took care of that already. It's already done. Now, you have a personal responsibility. If you are facing certain situations, use the law.
Sure.
And guys, men, right, whatever you call yourself, come on, man. For real?
Why are you arguing? It's almost the same as the other video, like with the whole red pill and stuff. Or, you know, it's kind of like, dude, why are you arguing with women who think and feel and yada, yada, yada? Because at the end of the day, if you're not talking to them on an emotional basis, they're just not listening. One girl already told you that her blood was boiling just even thinking of a men's right activist. You're not getting through to her.
Me.
I want to see where it comes. No, you don't. You're trying to save face because you've been in this thing for so long, but now your inconsistencies are being shown, and now, you know, people are going to call you out when they see you in public. I'm like, no, I'm trying to listen. No, you're not. At the end of the day, these women are damaged. They're hurt. Somebody hurt them, whether it be male or female, has hurt them, and they feel like they have to attach themselves to a movement to make themselves important, because really they're claiming, I am not just a victim, I'm a special victim. Because the black woman said, well, you know, as a woman and as a woman of color, like, so I have two stars on my special victim status card. Okay,
the general patch.
I have patches. You know, don't let me be part of that community, because then I'll have the full thing. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's just on the feminist side, it's more of a special victims club, essentially, the SVU.
I feel like the whole group is full of like hurt. Everybody was hurt except for like the one dude that was talking about like the men's rights and stuff like that. You know, like him, he's like the only one that didn't seem like he had like a traumatizing experience, but everyone else was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had something happen to me. You know, I'm looking at the incel, like, I know plenty of things have happened to you.
Yeah, and honestly, when that one woman said, why does something else have to pop up in what we're doing? Why does something else? Because it's called cause and effect.
Yes.
There will never be a movement that will start organically that something else won't pop up. Black Lives Matter. What popped up out of that? Blue Lives Matter.
Exactly.
And then all lives matter.
Yep.
You're always going to have a reaction out of somebody. So, like, your lack of understanding of how the world is, it just shows that you don't fully even grasp the gravity of the situation that you're in as far as the mindset that you have taken.
Even if you're a reasonable feminist, right? You have other people in your movement that are not reasonable. So
yeah.
That's why these other groups come up.
Yeah, they'll spread out.
Anytime there's something that's way too far one way, something else is created to try to get that balance out of it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to bring it back. So that's just the way that it works. I always say the yin yang thing is real. There's two sides here, and there's a little bit of each one. That's that unreasonable.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It sits there, and it's supposed to bring everything back to balance. That's all I got. You got anything else?
I would just say that these movements, as we're seeing that kind of popped up, around, what would you say, 2015?
Yeah.
2015 till now, so we're almost running on a 9-year, almost 10-year cycle, and then it's going to fall out. A lot of this stuff exploded because people was at home bored, and they started and used the computers a lot more. COVID really pushed a lot of these things to the stratosphere because guess what? Can't go outside. You're locked down. You're looking for something to complain about. It's like the nation had cabin fever, and everybody just like skyrocketed as far as like their groups and things like that.
Everyone,
that's where certain creators started getting big, certain movements started popping off, yada yada yada. And so like these movements, as fast as they came up, will go down, and then when people hear I'm a feminist, they're like, oh, you're one of them. Yeah. Oh, okay, all right. Patriarchy, we're with you.
I'm one of these.
I'm getting away from her because she's one of those people who's gonna start screaming. You're basically like a Karen, so to say.
Like, bro, we're outside now.
Yeah. Like, hey, you're still holding on to that? Dude, we're off punishment. We're good. Let's go. Let's go play.
I'm a men's rights activist. I'm like, we outside now, bro.
Yeah. Let it go. You ain't gotta be a men's rights activist. If you want to be really mad, you want to be a men's rights activist, start going after them judges. Start going after them prosecutors. Start really rallying men like, hey, we're tired of the way this family court system's going. Guess what? We're about to vote y'all out of office because we're not about to play this game no more. Put in politicians that will say, oh, okay, we're going to overhaul the court system.
Yes, see, that's how you
really get them. Stop worrying about the women. Yeah. Worry about the people who still has you like, oh, make sure those guys argue with those girls. Keep the focus off of us.
Y'all talking to the wrong people.
Yeah. The ones in power are kind of like idiots. Look at them fight. Look at them. Hey, they in some chairs talking to some women about your court system. You know what I'm saying?
Getting all that tax money out of y'all.
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. Y'all talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got.
I'm good. I'm Sir Cash.
I'm Nixon.
Peace.